Rightio, well, so I'm just going to load up the bike now, get ready for a run. We're going to go down to Bam Bam Springs to run out the miles on the bike. By the time we get down and back, I should hit empty somewhere along that road. So first thing I need to do is get a funnel. So this one should do. Yep, that one should do. Enough room. I was going to say I've got enough room to put him in the saddlebags, but obviously I don't. So, right, so, oh, it's got a, well, I have to forego that funnel, it's got a big fucking crack in it. Right, this might have to be to go, this black one. Okay, that fits in there nicely. I put exactly 5 litres of fuel in this little jerry, but there was already some fuel in there. Right, just holding it up, make sure it doesn't leak. No leaks, because that's how it's going to have to go in the saddlebags. Right, so that's going to sit in the saddlebags like that. That's in there, waiting. And I've got 120, I don't know if you can see that, 121 miles on the trip meter. So, rightio, I'm going to go and get my gear on, and we're going to head out in the bike, and I'll do all the intro on that on the other camera. So, rightio, I'll catch you when we're out on the road. Later. Morning, well, Hippy Trev here. It's just gone a bit after 10 in the morning. Bit of cloud around, but we're still in the low 30s. It's I'm not even going to wear a jacket. And anyway, roll the intro.
Hi, Hippy Trev here, and welcome to my channel. Hope you get something out of it.
Rightio, well, it's getting ready to do a run. I've got 121 miles on the clock, and I need to know exactly how many miles I get out of this tank on this Harley. For reasons I'll get into a little bit later. So I'm going to do a run down to Bam Bam Springs and back. I think that's close to about a 40-mile round trip, which will bring me up to 160 miles on the clock. I've gone up to 140 or 150 miles, or I've gone up to places where I've put in over 15 litres of fuel. There's a 20-litre tank, 5-gallon but 20-litre tank, and I haven't hit reserve yet, so I'm just wondering if I do even have a reserve on this bike, and I need to know exactly at what point does the reserve kick in, and then after that I have to know exactly how many miles I've got left in reserve. So that's what today's ride is all about. So let's get going. Give her a touch of warm up. So yeah, we'll head down to Bam Bam Springs. I think that's close to 40, about 40, maybe a bit more mile round trip. So that'll bring me up over to 160 miles on the clock. And we'll see how we go from there. Air cleaner could probably do a bit of a clean out at some stage as well. Such a prick to clean the air cleaner on this bike. I really do not like this Hyper, whatever it's called, air filter housing. I think it's completely stupid. But running the Bakuni carby, I haven't bothered looking around for anything else. I don't really want a big snorkel hanging out the side of the bike either. It's on the bike, to come to the bike. I can't be bothered flipping around to try and find anything else to match up and make it work. So it is what it is, but I've got to undo like 2 pissy Allen keys I don't even have an Allen key socket for. And I've got 2 other Allen keys that are stripped out, and I've actually lost 1 other Allen screw that holds the air filter housing on. So let's go. Let's see exactly how many miles I can get out of a tank of fuel. Bam Bam, here we come. Drive in front of me doing? It's either an old codger or a bloody woman. started, and I picked up these two GoPros from Perth. My daughter went and picked them up for me. I put them up in her bank, so I picked up two GoPro 5s and a heap of attachments like compass 5 batteries, battery charger leads, a heap of fittings. This way to be with Rachel, Ratty, because I was out of Tara and we were 5 hours apart one way. I first looked at that little house there, that little pink house. Can you believe that? So the shed next door is not included. So just that little pink house there, tiny little block. They wanted $180,000 for it. Like, you've got to be kidding. Then they want another 80 for that little block next door with a rickety shed on it. So when I first come through, this place had the Colston store. Now that's been closed for 2 or 3 years. And the last people that ran that store were ice addicts. Crazy people. okay back to Bickerton. Right, so there's a park. I'm just going to go and pull over in this park over here. Clean my glasses. A bit of shade for a second. There we go. My arms are feeling a tad sunburnt. Oh, my glasses have got shit all over them. Can't see through them. So I've got exactly 144, well, just about hit 150 miles on the trip meter. Well, I'm going to sit here, clean my glasses, turn around and go home, and then hopefully, well, I don't know, hopefully, that's not a lot of miles out of a tank. 136 to reserve. I don't know how many Ks I've got left. I'll be lucky, I reckon, to hit 160 miles, and that equals about 200 Ks, or they're about 100 miles is 160. That's about 220 Ks to a tank, which isn't a great deal. I probably might get, hopefully I'll get over 160 miles before it actually runs out. So anyway, I'm going to get off the bike, clean up my glasses, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But before we do that, I'm going to do just a quick walk around of the bike. So what we have here, we have a 94 fully American import FL-STN is what they call it. Now this came out as a very, very custom bike. It had floorboards, western bars, big crash bars all over it. And yeah, I've certainly changed it. So I've replaced it with forward controls, and then had me mate Stewie build the extensions on the pegs. I did have a spoke rear wheel that completely collapsed and shit itself, so I ended up buying a wheel out of Darren Cross and turned to a solid, which means I can load that back wheel up and never have to worry about that going sideways again. The motor blew up on the last trip down to Vic when I was visiting Pete, and I got that motor out of Darren Cross for $3,000, and that's just turned out to be a very, very good motor. Haven't done really anything in the primary. I have snapped a rear belt in the driveway, which I've got another belt from Darren Cross second hand, $100. Now they're a $400 rear belt, drive belt, them things, and Darren posted that up for $100 for me. So the seat, $100 seat off Darren. I had this massive Corbin seat on there, which I didn't like. The tool rack is going back on the bike. I got a strap from Jan at the second hand shop the other day, and the tool rack is definitely going back on the front of the bike. So that's what she is. She's a 94 FL-STN Nostalgia that's been fully customized, and I know the GoPro doesn't bring out the artwork, but allegedly, according to the chicks I bought this bike off, the guy who did all the artwork, and this is not a wrap, this is complete airbrushing, 100% airbrush bike, hand painted, allegedly by a guy called Ollie, who was the graphics designer for Star Wars. That's how the story goes. So, rightio world, I'll catch you when, what's this camera doing? Rightio world, I will catch you on the way back, and at some stage I expect we will run out of fuel. So anyway, we'll catch you on the way back. Bye. Well, it's cleaned up my glasses, all good to go. About to click over to 150 miles on the clock. Now I've been averaging, I've been sitting on around 65 to 70 mile an hour. This last trip just then I was literally hanging on to about the 70 mile an hour mark, and as we found out yesterday, using the phone GPS, I'm averaging about around 105 to 110 k's an hour. And when you're doing highways straight down through the guts of New South Wales and most of outback Queensland here, that is pretty much the speed limit, 110 anyway. So I could slow down to 60 mile an hour, but when you're out on the road and you just want to get somewhere, you run at the best speed you can. So fuel economy wise, I'm not getting very good fuel economy out of this bike, I don't believe. My old bike, the old motor in this bike, I used to average about 150 miles to reserve, and the bike before that, the other two Harleys were always around 150 miles to reserve. Sorry. So this bike, I'm only averaging 135 to 135 miles to reserve, and I don't know where empties. I'm guessing empty's going to be around the 160 odd mark. I'm about to hit 150 miles, so it's only another 10 miles left. I don't know how much fuel's left in the tank. 5 litres should get us home from wherever we stop. Oh, and I better put my tank onto reserve. Rightio. Let's go find out where empty is. Hopefully it's not in a prickler spot on the side of the road where I'm in a really dangerous position. Bam Bam's busy this morning. Those fuckheads from down the road on that red Commodore there. Exactly 167.4 on the clock. Alrighty. Alright, well, exactly 167.5 miles on the clock. 167.5 miles on the clock. Pretty happy with that. So not quite 170 miles. If I had to slow down maybe, I'm about 2 miles literally out of Biggin. Let's get some fuel in this thing. Firstly, Mr. Farnell. In fact, I'll put it in this side too. Oh, wrong way. Right, jerry can. I'm tempted not to put it all in. I reckon I'll put about a litre in, maybe a bit more, which should be enough to get me to the servo. Right, so I'm still on reserve settings, so that should start. To reserve. I reckon I'll put 1 litre in it. I'll figure all that out in a minute when I'm at the servo. The servo's not busy. What is this fucking clown doing? People, servo's full of people when I'm talking to the camera. Rightio, touchdown servo, can't see. Just about hit 170. Alright, let's see how many litres it takes to fill the bike from now. Oh, split the line. and I put 1.5 litres in the Jerry, so yeah. $18.57, and I probably put a litre in a bit, so yep, close enough to 20 litre tank. Thereabouts. Fuck, look at that. $40. Rightio, so that was $43 to fill up, thereabouts. So yes, I'm exactly 20 litre tanks. Let's go home and do the maths. And of course we'll do all that through the main street, why wouldn't we? There's Kerry's car. Battery's low, bugger. Out of the way. Thank you. Alright, took down the driveway. Rightio world. Rightio world. So, rightio world, that was a pretty good run and damn good test to see what's going on. So, about 160 miles is pretty much empty. And that works out about 220k to a tank, maybe 4 or 5 miles left the other side of that, depending how loaded and how fast I plan on going, that sort of thing. I'll ride pretty hard. I sit on 70 mile an hour at least minimum, and plus I'm going to be fully loaded, so I've got a lot to consider there. But yeah, that was $43 to fill the bike. Oh my god. And I've got a lot of fills between here in Victoria. It's going to be as much to run the bike down as it was the last trip I did in the boat. So fuck you government and fuck you fuel prices. But anyway, alright world, you know the drill. Stay safe, keep your knees in the breeze, and I'll catch you later. Bye.